Shalom, shalom, shalom. Monday class. I'll be your teacher today. Before we get started, let me see. Come. Before we get started, a couple announcements. Prayers up for the families out there in Houston. If you guys don't know, there's a serious storm going on. Currently, right now, Hurricane Barely, something like that. Category yeah. Serious storm. I talked to one of the brothers this morning. They're okay, but they do. I think the power grid is down currently still. The internet's also down, of course. So if you have any of their contacts, check up on them, please. We're praying for them. They probably won't be able to watch tonight's class, but whenever you guys do, just know San Antonio is looking out for you guys. We are considering you guys and thinking about and praying about you guys. Also for us, that storm might travel up to us. So just be cautious, be careful. I'm not sitting here saying go raid the stores and buy all the water bottles in the store. It's not necessarily that's not necessary, but just consider that we could get some of the remnants up here in San Antonio as well. With that being said, shalom to the camps out in Rochester, New York, Zion, Virginia, Kazakia, and Houston, of course. The brothers out there. What's up? Today's class. Not that there's anything specifically going on here to incite this level of class or this type of class, but it's something that I kind of heard here and there, and it's a topic dealing with stress, stress management. People going through various situations that would incite different levels of stresses or distressors, and what we're going to go into is explaining how the stress or the feeding of stress, the holding on to stress, is the killer of faith. And that is the topic or the title of today's class. So, shalom class online. To get started, we're going to go to Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 14. Kind of pave the way for this class topic. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. And we'll slow it down if we need. Go. Ecclesiastes 7:14. Ecclesiastes in the Bible.
Yep. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 14 reads, "In the day of prosperity, be joyful."
Now, if this isn't necessarily where you're at right now, or you're in a spirit of mirth, things are good. Hey, Most High bless. I'm happy you guys are going through positivity. I'm happy that it's not your season yet. You should be joyful. You should be happy with the mercy that the Most High has given you. Read on.
Come. In the day of prosperity, be joyful.
In the day of prosperity, be joyful. Rejoice. Be happy. Appreciate and hold on to the good times. That's what he's saying. Read on.
But in the day of adversity, consider.
Now, what we're going to be choosing to consider today isn't the other aspect of adversity. Because adversity can happen to any of us, and it happens to every one of us for multiple variants of reasons. One of the reasons could be, you might actually be sinning. You might be slipping in your conduct, slipping in your mind. That could be a reason why you have adversity. But we're going to focus not necessarily on the why the adversity is coming, why the Most High might be stinging your hands, stinging your words, stinging your outlook, stinging your mental, but rather how can we navigate now that we're in the midst of adversity. So that's the main focus of today's class. All right. So when it says in the day of adversity, consider how to get out of the stress that follows the adversity. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Read on.
Come. And be in the day of adversity, consider. The Most High also have set the one over against the other.
Because we have to understand is, regardless of what we might be going through, the stressors and the adversities, we have to understand that it's a part of life. And it's a circumstance which the Most High wants us to go through. For whatever reason. Whether it be a punishment or it be to give us spiritual growth. All of it should still incite spiritual growth. But however the situation is working out, we have to find the best possible way of looking at the circumstance so we don't get too caught up in our head. Read on.
Come, to the end that the man should find nothing after him.
And also understanding the reason why the Most High puts adversity and mirth, stress, and joy in the same category or in your life is to show you not to be too fleshly attached to anything. Because what could shift our emotions? Why is anything shifting our emotions to such an extent? Most High showing you, stay even. Be content in whatever circumstance you're going through. That is the purpose of having 2 and 2 in your life. So you're never going to have too much mirth in your life. It's not going to last for a long time. But on the contrary side, you're never going to have too much sadness and depression either. Because He wants you to see that there's a balance in life. There's a balance in everything the Most High creates. But we can't be too caught up in the high highs and the low lows. So, again, that's a separate topic in itself. Being content, being abased and abound, we've gone through that. That might be another class topic. But for today, consider how we're operating in adversity. Now, let that go. Give me 1 Peter 4 and verse 12. 1 Peter 4 and verse 12.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you.
Now, we've read this verse several times. This is one of our trademark verses. If you watch any of our faith classes, you watch any of our adversity classes, we're going to go through this verse. Not that it's the only verse out here that's saying this type of topic, but it's a reminder. We're going to go through fiery trials. We're going to go through adversities or scenarios that are going to make us uncomfortable, that are going to intensify our battle. Because but we can't get into the mindset of thinking this trial, this test, this scenario is not meant for us or shouldn't be meant for us. So a lot of times, I'm going to show in the class, the mind will try to justify itself against whatever the adversity you're going through. I've done this amount of works. I shouldn't have to go through X. I've been this level of consistent. I shouldn't have to feel like X. This is the mind. This is how the mind plays tricks on us. We're not sitting here saying that you should be a sucker for pain. You should be happy, or not necessarily happy, but in a pessimistic mindset. That's not what we're saying. But we should also understand when the situation, the current switches, when your life switches from being comfortable, from being joyous to now you have adversity, don't think it's out of ordinary, but look at it as the next challenge of your virtue test. But keep reading.
It says, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
Exactly. Keep reading.
But rejoice.
But rejoice. Now again, this is one of those, I think they call it a conundrum. That's a problem. I've been learning Spanish, and my vocabulary is all over the place right now. I'm trying to figure out what words is right now. Anyway, I'm gonna show y'all, give me a year. I'm gonna start speaking some Spanish up here.
Okay.
That's not the point. The point is that it sounds contrary. How can a fiery trial, a test, be a good thing or be worthy of rejoicing? I thought you only rejoice when things are actually looking right, when things are actually going forward, when you have a clear, cut-out path. Why would I be rejoicing? The carnal man, the worldly man, will look at any life challenge as a shock at their pride, as a shock to their whatever they've been building, as a very uncomfortable scenario. But the Bible is telling us we have to look at this as an opportunity. Read on.
It says, but rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahushai's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad, also exceeding joy.
So the rejoicing comes in the fact that when I'm going through any type of loss, any type of uncomfortable situation, any type of scenario that's going to push my virtue faculties forward, whether that be in testing my patience, testing my meekness, testing my long suffering, testing my ability to listen, any of these circumstances that are going to make me feel uncomfortable in myself, I rejoice in the fact that this is how I get a little closer to Christ, a little closer to righteousness. Because how else can I show the Most High I'm growing, except I'm going through circumstances testing how much I've changed, how much I've grown since the last test. Jump to verse 16.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16.
Yep.
It says, yet, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed,
Yep.
but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf.
Now, when it says to suffer as a Christian, it's also letting us know there's a specific way or a specific outlook you're supposed to have while you're suffering, for it to be justified that you're suffering as a Christian, for it to be justified that you're suffering with the mindset of Christ at hand. Because everybody suffers, everybody loses, everybody goes through adversities. Matthew 5:45 says it rains on the just and the unjust. So if everybody's losing, then what's going to set our loss, our adversity, and our distresses apart from other man's common distresses, common ways of dealing with things? Even if they're two circumstances similar, both parties can handle them differently. So we're going to keep finding out, how are we supposed to suffer? How are we supposed to manage stress so that we can be set apart from the rest of the flock, from the rest of man? Let that go. Give me 1 Peter 1 and verse 6 through 9. In the same book. Same book.
Come. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations.
Now, one of the reasons why we're set apart, or why we can acknowledge, or we know that we're suffering as a Christian, is the notion that we know it's only for a season. And we believe that this is a temporary loss, a temporary suffering, a temporary adversity, a temporary stressor. Because I believe that, I won't panic when loss comes. I won't panic when uncertainty comes. I won't panic when my life is not working in the way that I had set my hands for it to work. If I understand that the loss is a season, there's something to look forward to. Isn't that what hope is? Hope is I have something to look forward to at the end of this tunnel. Not that we're in total despair, total loss mode, total panic mode. It's over. Let's go to plan B and Z. I understand I'm going through this fiery trial to test whatever virtue the Most High wants me to work on. Read on.
Come. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua.
And like we just mentioned in the last chapter, or the last verse, the more you suffer, the more you lost, the more times you put in a stressful situation, and you can overcome it as a Christian or as a person with the mind of Christ, you have more stripes for glory at the end. Keep reading.
Whom having not seen, ye love.
Because although I can't see how it's going to work out, I haven't seen Christ. I've never seen him. But I know for a fact, because he's come through for me many times over, that I'm going to still stay on this correct path. Regardless of the scenario, I'm not going to get bitter. I'm not going to get vexed. I'm not going to get spiteful. I'm not going to get envious. I understand this is what the Most High wants from me and my vessel or my family or my circumstance. So I'm not going to lose my love. Read on.
Come. Whom having not seen, ye love. In whom, though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory.
Read on.
Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls.
Now, give me verse 13. We're going to read till verse 15.
Come. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober.
Now, this is very important. I'm going to break this down point by point. When it says to gird up the loins of your mind, it is the spiritual sense or the spiritual saying of getting yourself together. Get yourself together, collect yourself, collect your emotions, because whatever you're about to go through, you're going to have to get through this regardless. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of how well or unwell you are prepared, you got to get through this. So prepare yourself now before you're in a circumstance and understand it has to be this way.
And when back in verse 5 it said manifold temptation, so it's not going to be one test. You're going to feel like it's one thing right after another.
Yeah.
You know what? I just got this right. I got my mind right. Now this thing is happening to me.
Of course.
This situation this circumstance, same situation, different circumstance, however it might be. But it says manifold temptations. It's going to be many ins and outs. And you're going to feel overwhelmed. So it's not going to be just one test.
No, it's never going to be a one test because the tests are going to keep coming throughout your life.
Uh-huh.
You might think you have mastered a particular level of meekness until your next meekness battle comes in. We got to be even more meek. You might have think you thought you mastered brotherhood until you really got to be out there in the streets sweating, changing brothers' cars and tires for 8 hours a day. Your day is gone.
You master brotherhood with that one brother.
Yeah.
You got another brother, or you got both of them at the same time. But there's many brothers and many sisters, many situations, many vehicles.
And many
you got
circumstances.
trucks and cars.
Yeah. The circumstance and just the day-to-day struggles of life will reveal more and more tests. There's no avoiding. So the manifold temptations is different stages of your test. Because some tests might not be difficult. If your one test before was making food for people, making food for the brother's house, for us, we have a brother's house. If that was a test at one point in your life, I can promise you it's not going to be a test forever. But guess what? What if that test intensifies in a different facet of the brotherhood, of the B house? It's no longer about food. It's about you being there right before your day off, right after class, go sit here and be there for an hour and a half, and make sure everything's twat. That might be your next level of patience, next level of love test. Whatever it might be, the Most High is going to keep intensifying it. Before that happens, or while it's happening, understand you have to prepare yourself. Understand there's no way of avoiding this situation, regardless of what stage you're on in your life. So read that in verse 13 again.
Come. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Yep.
Be sober.
Be clear-minded. Be clear-minded. Now, sobriety, we understand that could be literally having whether it be alcohol, mass consumption of alcohol could damper your sobriety. But sobriety in this sense is talking about your clear-mindedness, which is backed or cleansed by your study habits, by your counsel habits, by your downloading habits. You're not going to be clear-minded by excluding one of those things out. If you're just a study guy at the house, that might not give you enough clear-mindedness to keep going through these same manifold temptations every so season. If you're just a counsel person, that still might not be enough to keep you steady and strong during your particular scenario. So you have to have the combination of all these things to keep sober, to keep clear-minded, to understand why I'm going through what I'm going through. Read on.
Be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua.
Yep. Read on.
As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance.
Now this is the most important part. What do we as a people do when we go through our particular battles? When we go through our particular distresses? When we're no longer happy? When life's not working out for us? What do, class?
We use all that to our former ways of dealing with distress, our past coping
Exactly.
mechanisms.
Exactly.
Old habits.
Our old coping mechanisms. Whenever we're going through our stressors, all of a sudden, reading the Bible no longer works. All of a sudden, just counseling no longer works. Now we start going back into our old habits, our old coping mechanisms, our old ways of dealing with stress. And this is how you start knowing you're losing your battle as a Christian, so to speak. You might temporarily stall the battle out, but were you a Christian in mind when you were doing so? Again, I'm using the word Christian. That's what it said in the scriptures. But we understand as Hebrew Israelites that we're not Christians. We're not the religion Christian. Okay, I just want to. For those that are online new, we know and hear. We understand. We're not Christians, but to be a Christian, to be a true Christian, is at the mind of Christ. And if we're trying to be true Christians through our battle, we have to keep that mind or what Christ wants us to meditate on while we're going through our circumstance, instead of going through the former lust. Let that go real quick, and let's go to Psalms 27 and 13. Actually, we're not going back to that, so you're good on that, Yohanan.
God.
Psalms 27. Yeah, I'm gonna
Psalm
do this.
27, verse 13.
1 second, sir. All right, we done.
Psalms 27 and 13. I had fainted.
What did David say?
I had fainted.
David said, I would have fainted if I did what?
Unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Most High in the land of the living.
The greatest among us, the most strongest in virtue, all are faced with situations of potentially going into their old coping mechanisms, potentially going into their old vices to escape the stresses of life. David said, if I didn't look at things in the most positive way, if I didn't look at my struggles as a spiritual stepping stone, if I didn't look at the situations and the hardships as the Most High testing my endurance, if I didn't choose to see the good and why I'm going through what I'm going through, why I'm losing what I'm losing, why I don't have what I think I should have, then I would have done what? Read it from the top again.
I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
I would have lost my faith. To faint means to quit. I would have quit. A lot of us go into that quitting mindset, whether it be quitting a particular action, quitting a particular job, quitting a particular occupation, or just quitting at life. This is the mind and the extremities of mind that our people go through whenever we're faced with circumstances that we can no longer control. And David said, I would have fell right along with it if I didn't choose to see the goodness in the land of the living. Read on.
Verse 14. Wait on the Lord.
He says you need to wait on the Lord. Wait on Him to get you out of your circumstance. Wait on Him to relieve the mental stresses that you have in your life. Read on.
Be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart.
Because what He's saying is, if you want your heart to be strengthened, you have to show the Most High first, I'm willing to overcome this. I'm willing to will myself out of this circumstance, will myself out of this depression, will myself out of this stress. Because I understand that you have better plans for me. I understand that this is just for a season. However long that season might be perceived to you, it's nothing to the Most High. How quick can He change it in a heartbeat? So what He's saying is, I have to be of good courage. I have to endure the suffering. I have to endure the loss. I have to endure the temptation. And then the Most High is going to strengthen me in due time. Read on.
Wait, I say, on the Lord.
And this is why He keeps reiterating it. Wait on the Lord. It's not going to be forever. The stress is not going to be forever. The loss is not going to be forever. I look at it like, for those that had children, the first 2 months, I promise you, I was stressing out bad. The stress was, I'm getting an hour and a half sleep every increment. Because my son, every time he wakes up, he's thirsty. You feed him for 30 minutes, and he'll go down for just 1 hour. He'll wake up again, you got to feed him another hour. And you look up, like, bro, I had broken sleep for 5 hours straight. It was all broken sleep. So I didn't really sleep more than 2 hours combined. And I have to go to work at 3 in the morning. How am I going to operate at this pace forever? Is it always going to be like this? I used to Google and YouTube how long are babies going to be up all night and we're going to get a full night's sleep. And they're talking some crazy, like 6 months, 6 to 8 months. I'm like, bro, there's no way, bro. There's no way. 8 months, G?
That's a long season.
Bro, come on, dude.
Is there any way I can speed up the process?
I don't say
Too fast track.
I promise you, I told this to my rep. I said, I just can't wait till he's like 1, 2 years old. He's like 3. He's talking, and he can go to sleep at a normal time, and I can get 6, 7 hours of sleep. I cannot wait for that time.
But then there's nightmares.
And I realized that, you know what? I had a conversation with her one night. I said, we got to go through this. We got to experience this because I bet you someone else can go through the same thing. And I'm going to have to tell them that, unfortunately, Aqua, this is where it is. This is part of the pains of childhood. But you know what? It's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. But in that 2 month time, I didn't know what to think. I was going crazy. I was going crazy. She was going crazy. She had to be with him all day. That was like that for like all day long. I at least got to go to work and then maybe can sleep on the truck for like 2 hours if need be. She was there every hour and a half on the dock, he's sleeping like 8 times a day. I'm like, bro, hey, my hat off to you. You're a trooper. I said to say, even during that time frame, that's a small circumstance, but that can be very distressful. People, I almost panicked one time. I was panicking. I'm like, bro, there's no way. I got to get up at 3 in the morning. I have to drive a 26-foot truck and be active and be alert. There's no way I can sustain at this pace. But even something small like that, we can amplify. and make more of what the situation is. So I'm bringing this class up to show, hey, whatever circumstance you're going through, whether it be large or small, if we don't look at it in the proper way, we can blow this way out of proportion and cause some real damage to not just ourselves, but people around us. So where are you at again? Read that from
verse 14.
let that go.
Psalms 27. Okay.
I was going to say, when it says wait on the Lord, it doesn't mean be stagnant, be at a standstill. Sometimes, you do got to stop. You got to look at your situation. And you got to listen.
Yeah.
Right? That way you can, set your heart right.
Come.
Be like, you know what? Let me gird up my loins, like the scripture says. Get your mind right. And it says that way you don't have to be hasty.
Come.
And when you're irritated, you're mad that you didn't get enough sleep. The firecrackers woke up the baby.
Oh, bro.
That
That was
4th
real.
of July.
There was no sleep going on. No sleep. There's a lot of angry parents going on. A
Disrespectful.
lot of angry parents, bro. Like, you got newborn babies. Dogs are going crazy. They're barking all night. Oh, bro.
Bro, you just put the kid to bed, and now you want to do a cannonball next door?
Bro.
You want to do a cannonball next door?
Hey, I saw videos of like the firecrackers. They went the wrong way, bro. So they were shooting up neighborhoods and stuff. Instead of going up, they went like sideways to the other neighborhood, blowing the whole driveway up. Like, bro, cars going off. Like, bro, you definitely not getting sleep no more. So anyway, we're joking, but this is real. This is real, bro. The waiting of the Lord is, hey, man, regardless of how this looks, it might not look up for a long time. You might lose 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. There's been times, we go through phases on the trucks where it just is bad. So, certain individuals, certain brothers just go through really tough times. I know for me, I went through this period where everything I did was wrong. Car accidents, Rip got in a car accident 1 month. Next month, I smashed someone's mailbox. I'm pretty sure I said this.
Getting shocked.
My drill blew up. Flooded the house. Oh, bro. I'm talking about, it was bad. It was a bad 4 months. It was a bad period of time. And my resolution was, or my first thought process, maybe this is just not meant for me to lead. Maybe I'm just not good enough to be in this situation. Why the Most High put me in this circumstance? Obviously, I'm not responsible enough to make sure nothing bad happens. Obviously, I can't maintain anything on a consistent basis. These are the crazy thoughts I'm putting in my head. Like, let me call some. Let me counsel to see if what I'm thinking is right. Because no one really blew me up on it yet. All the bad, they're like, hey, bro, this is getting bad. Like, you should kind of clean this up a little bit. But no one's really, like, stinging me. That's what I was looking for. I wanted someone to sting me and tell me you're just not good enough. And so I can go cower down and hide behind somebody else leading it and let them take all the risk. That was my first thought process because I was fearful. Because I was scared to keep doing more damage. Because I understood the impact and what I was doing. I understood the impact behind my mistakes. So, I counseled and I was told, look, bro, there's no one going to replace you right now. So either you figure it out or we go down. I was even more stressed from it. Like, bro, you know what? I better pray and I better start fasting and I better start finding more solutions to these issues. And just hope the Most High lets this season pass. And sure enough, I look up and it passed. That's just another one of those scenarios that I personally gone through within the last year or so. Like, hey, man, it's not always going to be in this disastrous panic scenario. If you can get through it, and if you can get through it faithfully, you can talk about it. If I didn't get through it faithfully, then I can't talk about it. If I say to anybody, you know what, I'm quitting. I'm done. I can't handle it. I'm panicked. I'm done. I can't do it. And just walk off. You think I can bring that up as a testimony? No, I can. This is what you don't do in Christ. It's like you not operate in the Spirit of the Lord. Yeah, when bad things happen, just quit. Just leave the job. Just don't show up the next day. That's how you don't operate. But instead, I choose to stick it out and just hope the Most High don't work it out. Not for my sake, because that was my prayer. Lord, don't fix this for me. Please fix this for the brothers. I did not want to be the guy that causes our business to fall apart.
And these are one of the ways that we rejoice. Like, we can, you've been through it, I've been through it, other brothers been through it, and we can laugh about it because we've been through similar situations. It wasn't funny then.
No.
But now we can sit back and laugh about it because, we went through it. It was an experience.
Yeah.
And we got through it. We almost fainted at times.
Brother.
But we waited on the Lord.
We waited on the Lord, and we understood that the Most High, regardless if it's a good situation or if it's a bad situation, He's obviously doing something here. He's obviously got His hand on us. He's obviously got His thumb on our situation. So I can't go into panic mode like we're about to read right now in Job 7. Job 7 and verse 7, real quick. Job 7 and verse 7.
Job chapter 7, verse 7.
You got that in there? Read that, sir.
Job chapter 7, verse 7. Oh, remember that my life is wind. Mine eyes shall no more see good.
This is the mentality that we cannot get into. I bring this up because this is a common thought process. Well, what Joe's about to say is something that we either said before or we can understand where he's coming from. Mind you, he's lost everything. Life's falling apart. He doesn't know when it's going to get better. If he didn't know the full story, just hearing that detail could let you understand why he's in panic mode or fight or flight. Read on.
Verse 8.
No, jump to 11.
Verse 11. Therefore, I will not refrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul.
When things aren't going right, what do we normally do as a people? We're complaining. We're angry. Whether it be we're complaining to those that are next to us or we're complaining to the Most High in our head. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? Why do you have your hand on my life specifically? These are all the questions we subconsciously ask because we and ourselves can't accept when it's our season to go through something. Keep reading.
Verse 12. Am I a sea or a well that thou settest a watch over me?
Look at what he's saying. He says, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I'm not a sea. I'm not the web. I'm not a huge, magnificent animal. I'm not the Leviathan. I'm not one of your crazy or I'm not one of your creatures that can cause a huge impact in life or creation that can cause a huge impact in life. So why are you so focused on me? Why are you so concerned on my small life, my minuscule, insignificant life? This is what he's telling himself. Read on.
Verse 13. When I say, my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint.
How do we run away from our issues?
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep this stress off, G.
Get on the couch.
I'm sleeping this stress off. There's no way.
Watching TV,
Look,
binge
bro.
watching.
Look, bro. I remember I'd be in school. This is a small scenario. Whenever I had like a presentation to do the next day that I didn't prepare for, you got like two options. Like, you know what? I can either try to crash this out and put 8 hours in and maybe have it ready by tomorrow, or if I sleep it away, I'll be fresh coming with a better strategy the next day. And 9 times out of 10, I'm choosing that sleep. And I'm gonna go and beg and plead the next morning. Teacher, you know what happened? I just didn't see it, or I lost my phone. I lost all my calendar data up. So now,
I did my homework.
Look, bro, I'm doing whatever I could. I'm doing whatever I could. Or my sister, because we went to the same school. She actually took my homework bag on accident. We had the same backpack. She has it. I don't have it. So they want a school field trip today, so I can't even get it back today. Like whatever thing you can think of to get out of the situation. We sleep when we're panicking. If there's a problem, I'm gonna sleep this off. There's an issue. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow, bro, because I can't handle it right now. If I'm going through a breakup, what am I gonna do? I'm sleeping, G.
Curled up.
I'm curled up. I'm sleeping in fetus position, because that's how I escape my present stressors. This is what Job was doing. Said, look, when I want to say my bed's my comfort and my couch ease my complaint, read on verse 14.
Then thou scarest me with dreams.
Keep reading.
And terrifies me through visions.
He says, whatever vice that you want to escape your distress, I'm going to start cursing it. And you think sleeping it off is such a big deal, or it's not such a big deal to me, then I'm going to start cursing your dreams. I'm going to send them top hat guys on you. I'm going to send them ghost figures. Bro, look.
Real, bro.
I'm going to send them ghost figures on you. They're going to be looking at you. You're going to have no comfortable sleep, bro.
Are you sleeping, G?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to do that paralysis real quick.
That top hat guy, you see him out there, peripheral.
Always in the peripheral, bro. And what is this top hat guy doing?
How did you get in there?
Man, come on, bro. I hear no doors open, G. I'm going to send the top guy. I'm going to give you some paralysis. I'm going to curse whatever you do that's escaping this distress. Because I want you to feel this. Because whatever you're going through is to teach you a very valuable lesson that you need to progress in Christ. And you're not going to run away from it. It's like Job wasn't going to run away from it. Job, you're not just going to sleep all day long because your life is not great right now. It's the same concept with fasting. If you're trying to fast, and I'm gonna say me because I used to do this. I thought if you fasted when you slept all day, it was an effective way of fasting. Well, that's not necessarily. That doesn't work at all. If you're fasting, He wants you to be afflicted all day long. Just like if you're going through your circumstance, the goal is to go through the circumstance so you can have a Christ-like result. Versus, I'm just gonna panic and I'm gonna choose the carnal way out. I'm gonna choose my former coping mechanism, which it might be sleep, it might be binge eating, it might be binge watching, it might be promiscuity. For those that understand, it might be just I'm running the streets, whatever that might entail. Whatever your old coping mechanism used to be, that can't be your escape, because then you're gonna have some real distresses following you. You have some real issues following that you can't get out of.
Going a long drive.
Oh,
Out of gas.
Bro, yeah, you don't want to do that. You're in the middle of nowhere. Then you can see the real top hat guy. You don't want to see that guy. Not top hat guy in the woods. You don't want to see that dude.
You ain't from around here, boy.
Yeah. But anyway, let that go. Give me Ecclesiasticus 11 and 14. Ecclesiasticus 11 and 14.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 14.
Yep.
Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Most High.
So all of these things are designated and controlled by the Most High. Whether you're up, whether you're down, whether you're comfortable, whether you're stable, whether you got a little extra bread in your pocket. Because none of us are really rich out here. I mean, we ain't living the Bezos life. So if you got a little extra bread, you got a little extra left over from your check, or you got none left over from your check, you're starting to tap into credit cards. However, whatever circumstance you might be in, it's all coming from the Most High. Whether you're in joy, in mirth, or you're in adversity and stress, the Most High is guiding that. Jump to verse 20.
Verse 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant.
But be steadfast in thy covenant. What does it mean by that? Keep reading.
And be conversant therein.
Give me conversion in 1828. Conversant. Yep.
Conversant, 1828.
So there's a reason why he was explaining that death, life, adversity, prosperity, and riches come from the Most High. Regardless, whatever situation you are. I'm trying to figure. I don't think this is the right one. Conversant.
Converse.
It might be converse. Converse. Read that. Read what you got. I'm gonna see if it's right.
Conversant.
Is it a preserving one?
Conversant.
Is that what it says? That wasn't what I was looking for. There was a definition that said the conversant was actually reading. I can't find where it was. That's horrible.
Yeah, I think it did say that in Converse. Yeah.
I don't have point number 2 in mind. Which one are y'all looking at?
1828, yeah. Acquainted by, yeah, that's two.
Read 2 because that's not on mine anymore. So read that. Whatever you got.
Conversant, 1828, Webster's Dictionary, point number 2. Acquainted by familiar use or study.
There it is. Okay, I typed in the wrong word.
Okay.
It says acquainted by familiar use or study. So read it from the top again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 20. Be steadfast in thy
It
covenant.
says we have to be steadfast in the laws and the verses of the Most High. If we're going to be able to navigate the ups and downs of life. Read on.
And it says, and be conversant therein.
We're going to have to be acquainted by the familiar use, not the distant use, not the occasional use, not the sometime use. This is the familiar use or study of these laws, of these commandments, of this word. If we're going to be successful in navigating these ups and downs, in navigating our day-to-day distresses, in navigating our stress levels, in navigating our depression, in navigating our anxiety. If we don't have an acquainted or familiar use of this word, we're going to be in pitiful cases, figuratively speaking. or any mental low points in our life. Read on.
Comment. It says, and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work.
And wax old and you're studying. Allow this to become a mastery you take on yourself. Knowing how to study yourself out of low points, how to study yourself out of mental hiccups. This should be something you should be getting good at because of the amount of hiccups you're going through, because of the amount of stresses you're going through. If you've been in it for some time, you should have enough breakdowns, enough accessibility to the scriptures to be at least able to navigate whenever things start getting rocky for you. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is it safe to say that the Most High may be having me or a different individual, the Most High be having us go through these different situations,
Mm-hmm.
right, to get us to study, to get us in the book? I'm just asking.
Well, the circumstance, I kind of know where you're going. I didn't want to go through the when we're reading Ecclesiastes 2, I'm not going to go there. Well, I might as well. Go to Ecclesiastes 2.
No.
I was trying to go there, man. That's like the go-to
I ain't gonna lie,
ABC verse. I
Ecclesiastes
know.
chapter 2.
Give me Ecclesiastes 2.
What verse?
To answer your question, just read it. Just read it down. You know how it is.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1 reads.
Now, what the brother asked, for those that are didn't hear online, he asked, is it say it one more time.
Is it safe to say
Safe to say.
that the Most High has me or an individual or individuals going through the diverse adversities to get me to study?
Is it safe to say that what I'm going through is the Most High trying to push me to heaven? Because that's what studying is all about. That's why we study in the first place. We study to find what's pleasing unto Him. We study to find out what we're doing to make our life unpleasing or pleasantful. So, read in verse 2, or read in verse 1 real quick in Ecclesiastes 2.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1 reads.
Yep.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Now, the temptation that we're talking about is, and we're going to go into it more specifically, is the different level of the stresses that come in our life. When we are at a loss or we're not getting what we want. Or we're in circumstances that make us uncomfortable. Read on.
Prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
It's the same thing we just read in 1 Peter 4, or 1 Peter 1 and 13, when it says, gird up the loins of thy mind. It's the same connotation. To set that heart aright is to prepare yourself, to be in singleness of heart, to be fully persuaded, to be fully accepting of whatever the Most High is putting me through is for my betterment. Is for my spiritual development. Read on.
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
And he's letting you know you're going to have to constantly endure these manifold temptations. You're not going to be able to avoid this. There's no escaping loss. There's no escaping distress. There's no escaping being uncomfortable, whether you're in the flesh or in the mind. So if you're not escaping that, then prepare yourself and don't run from it and endure it. Read on.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
And don't try to run back to your old devices, your old coping mechanisms. The old you. Man, when I was struggling, I just got to roll me up when I'm all good. Man, when I was going through what I was going through back in the day, I would just drink it away. Man, back in the day, if I was going through what I was going through, me and the boys, we hitting the yard. We hitting the streets. We doing whatever we got to do.
Or you just distance yourself.
Or you're right.
Isolation.
You're right.
Isolation.
I'm gonna close my door and my phone's going on D&D for good.
No, that's airplane mode.
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode, G.
Don't call me. It's going straight to voice message.
On the big
This brother's phone's off. This brother never charged his phone. No, he's just not answering your call.
He's on a big jet plane right
But
now.
and he's eating a lot of food, and he's watching a lot of TV, and he's gonna sleep himself to sleep. And he's got to deal with them top hat boys because the Most High ain't not letting him escape from that. You're gonna deal with these issues, one way or another. You're gonna deal with it. But he's saying whatever your coping mechanism might have been, or some, there's another one. I'm just gonna start a riot in my house. We're going to war in this house. I am not happy, and nobody gonna be happy in this house. Everybody gonna be upset. Everybody gonna be vexed. Everybody gonna be yelling and screaming. Because if I'm unhappy, I'm inconvenienced, everybody's gonna be inconvenienced. That's another one of those coping mechanisms. But whatever it might be, You can't go back and do that. That is an escape route. Do not escape from this stress. Don't escape from this mental vexation of mind. Read on.
Verse 3. Cleave unto him.
Cleave unto the Most High. How do you cleave, Yahweh, to the Most High? Can I hug Christ? I would love to hug Christ. I would love to be in Abraham's bosom. But since I can't do that right now, how can you cleave unto the Lord?
2 Timothy 2:15.
But just give me the short answer. You pull all these
I gotta
verses,
study,
man.
sir.
You better read the Bible. You better read the cuss out of the Bible, La Biblia. You better read, and you better read all day long. You better counsel, you better pray, and you better fast. If you ain't doing that, you're not cleaving. If you're not cleaving, you're gonna be running. And if you're running, you're gonna be out. You're gonna be one step away from hitting them low gates. You don't want to be them low gates. You'll be living a low life for real. So he says, you have to. That face is crazy. That face is crazy. He said, you need to cleave unto the Most High if you want to get away, or rather, if you want to navigate these temptations, navigate these stresses. Read on.
Cleave unto him, and depart not away,
And don't run away. Read.
that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Because it goes back into the hope again. Why did the saints, why did the people of the Most High rejoice in a temptation? Because they knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel. They didn't panic. They didn't go into distress mode. I might be suffering now, but I know there's a positive what I'm doing at the end. Whether that be salvation, but on a shorter end, it'll be clarity. It'll be safety. It'll be stabilization. It's going to be okay eventually. If I believe that, and I study myself to believe it, then I will sane or make my mind a lot clearer or a lot more sober. I'll let that go. Give me threw me off. Why, man? Give me Ecclesiastes 11. We're still back at Ecclesiastes 11 again. Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 21.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse 21.
We're gonna read down to 25.
It says, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor.
Now, this is going to kind of hint into the mind of a person that stays in the distresses. But it's very important when we're put in situations that are not comfortable. When the Most High puts us in situations that have us at a loss or have us in a stressful environment, we don't start looking at the lives of sinners. We don't start looking at the lives of people who are inconsistent. We don't start comparing ourselves to those who don't even believe in the Most High. That's only going to drive you further and further into your negative, or further and further into your distress. There's no way to completely remove yourself from those people. Whether you're literally in the work and you're around brothers all day, you're still going to see the mansions. You're still going to see the smiling babies. You're still going to see the nice cars. You're still going to see the success and the nice clothes. Or you're in the world and you're working among a bunch of heathen. You're going to see them happy. You're going to see how they had a great July 4th. You didn't get to celebrate July 4th, but they were popping fireworks and at the beach, Mar-a-Lago. It's called Mar-a-Lago? What's that vacation? Yeah. They went off to Barbados, and they went and lived their life, and they had 2-week vacations, and they're happy, they're smiling. They're showing you the pictures like, yeah, this is what we did, this is what we did. We had fresh coconuts. You ever seen a fresh coconut? I never seen no fresh coconut. You got fresh coconuts, you got the Hulu hats. You're living your life. They're living their life. I don't know, bro. Living their life, and you're just like, man, that looks fun. And it hurts even more when you're losing. It's like when you're fasting, right? Why is it that everything smells great when you're fasting?
It smells wonderful.
Everything smells like top tier A1, A5 Wagyu meats. Just melt in your mouth, butter meats.
Breads are baking.
Breads is baked. The panduce is, you can smell panduce from a mile away. Everything smells, and you can taste it. Your mouth starts salivating. It's the same type of circumstance.
Carne in the air.
Carne asada. Oh my goodness. But brother, come on, man. Everybody's volunteering food, bro. It's non-stop. The cookies is endless. The meats is endless. The tacos is endless. I had a guy who had a fresh brisket. I walk in the house and you slap the brisket on the ground or on the table. So you want some slices? I said I would, but I can't. I'm fasting.
At the car, at the zone, on the moves, on the everywhere.
It doesn't stop.
Everywhere.
Day of Atonement is always on.
Why did the battle get harder? I'm already at a loss. I'm already losing. I'm already in distress. I'm already sad. Why is everyone smiling around me? Everyone's happy. Everyone's smiling.
Yes.
This is why he says, when you're losing, you better be stayed up. Because when you're losing, your eyes, it's like the world is open up a little more around you. The clarity of the world opens up a little more around you. The reason why I say clarity is because now you're starting to really focus on everybody else. Because what is that? What is that? That is a coping mechanism. This is why reality TV is so great to distract the minds of Americans. I say great for lack of a better word. It is a great tool to distract the people. Because what is it about? I'm so focused on your life, I don't have to focus on my life and how my life sucks. You're living what I want to do. So I'm just going to live through you. This is why sports is so big in American society. Because you're living my dream. I should have been there. I should have been running with the Dallas Cowboys. If I didn't have a bum knee in high school. If I didn't break my knee or if I had more opportunities, I would have been in the league too. So I'm going to live through number whatever. This is what it's about. We start idolizing and start putting ourselves in other people's lives to escape. So it says, marvel not, be not amazed at the works of sinners. Read on.
But trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor.
But trust that the Most High is going to work out your circumstance and keep working. Keep doing what the Most High tasks you to do, regardless if you're winning or if you're losing. Read on.
For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
If the Most High really wants you to have things, He's going to give you things. So stop trying to force the course of the river. If He really wants you to have this thing that you're lusting after so bad, you'll have it. You will, if He wants you to have it. But if He don't, stop making it a distressor. Stop panicking. Stop being angry. Stop envying, comparing and contrasting. Read on.
Verse 22. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly He maketh His blessing to flourish.
Because the Most High, again, can make your life stable very quickly. Can have you in a state of prosperity very quickly. This is what He's saying. Keep reading. Make sure you get some books in the notes as well. Shalom, brother.
Verse 23. Say not, what profit is there of my servant?
That's that panicking person again. When they're losing, what are they saying?
What profit is there of my servant?
Why am I going through what I'm going through? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm losing houses. I'm losing relationships. I'm losing vehicles. Why am I suffering like this? Why am I even serving the Most High if I'm not winning out of the deal?
I don't deserve this.
I don't
Not
deserve
fair.
this. It's not fair. Life's not fair. You know, it's crazy. I said that when I was like 11 years old, bro. I'm going back into story time again. I was 11 years old. I busted my front 2 teeth. Now, how that happened, I was very uncoordinated as a kid, obviously. And we're playing this game in school, and I fell down, and I don't know why I put my hands out. I just fell like a damn penguin.
Like a hot dog.
This nose dive into the ground, and then I busted my face. I went in the mirror. I was like, man, why, Lord, this happened to me? Well, maybe teach you to put your hands on your face. I don't know. You messed up. Not the Lord. Lord didn't do that to you. You had opportunity to put. Look, anyway, that's the point. The point is, this is what we do when we're in a state of despair. When I'm losing, I'm not getting what I want. The first question I ask is what?
It says, say not, what profit is there of my service?
Because we think the Lord is transactional. We think because I did X, Y, and Z for the Lord, because I went to X amount of classes, X amount of church sessions, I gave to the poor X amount of times, or I was a good person, I had a good outlook today, or I was nice to my wife today, or I was nice to my husband today, or I fed the kids, I took care of everybody, I did my chores, that I deserve some type of comfort or some type of blessing or relief from my circumstance. Because I did my job, I deserve a relief from my issues. Read on.
It says, and what good things shall I have thereafter?
He said, what? It says, what good things? Meaning, there is no good that is coming from this circumstance. If I'm not getting good, then why am I doing it? If I'm not winning from this, then what am I investing my life into?
What's the benefit?
I can invest into a lot more. I can invest my time, my energy, and my money into something way more effective to get a quicker gain than by serving the Most High. Because the Most High is not giving me what I want when I want it. Well, that's not how the Most High works. And we have to understand that if we're going to be Christians in the mind, Christ-like in the mind, to be Christ-like in the mind means to understand you might not get what you want when you want it. But that shouldn't affect or shouldn't change how you look at the Lord in the service. Keep reading.
Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things. And what evil can come to me hereafter?
And it goes right into the point of Ecclesiastes 7 earlier when it says, you know, when you're in prosperity, rejoice or have joy. But don't get too cocky. Don't get too complacent. And don't act like the Most High can't turn your world upside down either. Because that pride will bring you low. He's keeping everybody in a humble position. Don't look at yourself as don't look at the Most High like He can't get you out of your circumstance. But also, don't act like the Most High can't bring you down if you're too out of pocket with Him in the mind. If you're if you're untouchable, because you got a couple dollars in your pocket. Read on.
Verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Because the Most High knows this thing very well about man. Because when you're winning, affliction, stress, loss, depression goes out the window. You forgot why you were sad. You forgot what caused the sadness. You forgot why you fought with your girlfriend last week. Why you fought with your husband last week. Everything is great. Read on.
It says, and in the day of affliction.
But, with that being said, when you're afflicted and you're losing, read on.
There is no more remembrance of prosperity.
All of a sudden, God is no longer good. The Most High is no longer the Savior. He no longer has your best interest in mind. How does our mind switch so quickly based off our circumstance? If it does, it shows you where you're at with the Father. And if that's the case, we got to look at the trials as opportunities to show the Most High that we don't have that mentality. That I'm not wishy-washy in the spirit based off of my circumstance. And because we are wishy-washy, this is why it keeps happening to the extent it happens. If you're one of those that feel like you're just putting trials endlessly, trial to trial to trial, it's probably because your manna tastes very bad. Because you have a bad outlook. For those that don't understand, if your manna tasted bad in the wilderness, because you had a very bad outlook in your circumstance. If your manna, which was your heavenly bread, tasted good, because you looked at your circumstance and a pure outlook for the Most High. If you look at your losses, or look at the times when your life is halted for a moment, or look at the time when you're discomforted for a little bit, or you're stressed out more than usual, if you look at it as an opportunity to get closer and to cleave more to the Most High, you might not have to go through it, or it might not hurt as much when you're going through it.
What's funny about that prosperity is like if you have one good day, you might not forget, that adversity. You have a few days, you got a week,
Yeah.
you got a month of prosperity. You'll forget. But it only takes one day of adversity for everything to fall into shambles. It only takes that one day, and you're like, why, Lord? And if I may, we could go to Hebrews 12 and 7 to see why this is happening. Why it's happening to me? Why, oh, why?
Hebrews 12 and 7.
God. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. If ye endure chastening,
If you endure adversity, if you endure hardships, or it can go calamities, or it can be just some trouble, some slap on the wrist. Read on. If you endure chastening, read on.
if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons.
Because He's dealing with you as a son. He's giving you that tough love. He's giving you that attention. He's watching out for you. He's saying, look, son, look, daughter, I need to get your attention because you're missing something here. Jump up to verse 6.
God, for whom the Lord loveth, He chasteneth.
Because He loves you. This is why.
Okay.
So we can stop asking why or why. It's because the Lord loves you. Isn't that what we do to our children? You say, He's going to go touch that plug. No.
Exactly. You
And
slap on the wrist.
he or she looks at you like, what do you do that for? And then you look at them like, you grab them, you hold them in your bosom, and they understand without the words. It's the same thing.
And it also goes into. Are you done with that?
No, keep reading on that verse 6.
Okay.
Come. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
And he does this so that he may receive you, so he can gain his trust, so you can see his ways works, so that you can use and apply his ways, which we find in the Bible.
Yeah. And what I love about that is, and we all have to start learning how to love about that is, if we don't have the afflictions, we get weak in the spirit. Because, like we just read, when that prosperity comes around and we forget afflictions, we get numb, or we start getting, I try not to say prideful, but we start getting too complacent with prosperity or too comfortable with
Right.
stability. And what that does is, when the next circumstance in life kicks around, then we're more likely to get angry at the Most High. We're more likely to get frustrated with our new circumstance. Because it's almost like we tell ourselves we got set up. Why'd you set me up, Lord, if you're just going to take me out? This is what Job was saying. Job was saying, if you're going to have me go through this hell anyway, then why was I born? Why give me anything in the first place? Let me sleep, bro. I was good. I was good with the angels, dog. I was chilling, man. This is what it is. If I'm going to have to suffer anyway, then don't set me up thinking that I'm good or that my works are good. Because it's also the mentality of, I've been doing good. My good works have been blessed. Why am I suddenly being cursed? That's what Job was saying. You showed me through the pattern of being blessed that my works were okay, that my works were satisfying. Now, out of nowhere, or not to my knowledge, I'm getting hit, and everything around me is falling apart. So we like to say, look, if I'm going to get stung, let me get hit right now. So when you get that bad report from the teacher about how your kids act in school, when I was a kid, I wanted to get stung right then and there so I can get it over with. Let me get over it now so I can start coping. I start the coping mechanism afterwards.
Yeah.
But I don't want to think about the potential woes and potential destruction that could be falling up that I can't see. You wake up at 3 in the morning to get that random butt whooping. You thought you slept through it. Went back to that sleep again. I'm going to sleep early today. I'm going to be a good kid. I ain't staying up all night. I'm going to go sleep at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to wake up at 6, and I'm going to get at the house before anybody sees me. And then lights turn on at 3 in the morning, and you get stung. But that's the same thing that we almost wish for in the spirit. Why have me think that I'm okay if I had to suffer anyway?
Right.
Well, this is just how life is. Life is going to be up and down. Like we read in that Ecclesiastes, it's like you don't get too attached to anything. Because when you get too attached to anything, that's why you get angry.
And this is why we got to be conversant in the scriptures.
Yes.
If you don't read scriptures like that one in Hebrews 12, you're not going to know why you're getting stung. You're not going to, even if you're just getting tested, that temptation, to see if you love the Most High back.
Huh?
Right? Because it says conversant, acquainted by familiar use or study. And then the definition to read is to inspect and understand words or characters in the Bible.
Yeah. God.
So you can understand.
God. And so the Bible can become real to you.
Yep.
So it's not words on a paper. See, the problem is, or the benefit, now that you read, it starts coming to life. Your eyes start being open. You start seeing, your clarity opens up. You're no longer in darkness. So now it's easy for you to recognize, okay, I'm being stung right now. Okay, the Most High is navigating my life. Before, we were just groping at noonday. We were just going through our day-to-day life, not knowing why life was going up or life is going down. You work just as hard every single day, but things just keep changing, and there's no stability anywhere around you. Now you're getting clarity of, okay, I'm going through the unstable times to keep testing my virtue, because now it's my next opportunity to work out whatever virtue, whatever spiritual lesson I need to work out at that time.
And that clarity might not come that same day. It could come a week later, 6 months later, maybe even a year.
But the clarity, the quickness of the clarity comes in however quick you decide to open up, to confess, to read, study, to meditate. The Most High will show you, like when you read Ecclesiastes, it talks about how in the day of sitting the wise man be aware. In Ecclesiastes 7, it says, when you're going through adversity, consider. The considering part goes into thinking about, why could this be happening to me? Let's do the laundry list. What have I been doing? Okay, so far I've been pretty consistent in my works. So I might not be getting stung by a sin I've done right now. I might have been getting stung by something I did in the past. If that's not the case, then maybe, just maybe, there's a virtue here. But again, how am I choosing to look at the loss? How am I choosing to look at the temptation? How did Jeremiah look at the temptation? Because he had the same thought process as Ecclesiastes 11. Give me Lamentations 3 and 17 real quick. We're going to read down to 25. Or 23. Because Jeremiah, just like us, had the same thought process. Man, I almost forgot my prosperity. So I was just losing so much. Read on.
You said Lamentations what?
3 and 17.
3 and 17. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 17. And thou hast... Oh, let's see. Lamentations 3 and 17.
Yes, sir.
And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace.
Yeah, Jeremiah was going through it. Being chased, being cursed out, being put in prisons over and over and over again, having to see the gradual downfall of his people. He was going through it. Read on.
I forget prosperity.
And just like we just read in Ecclesiastes 11, in the day of prosperity, there's forgiveness of, or a day of affliction, there's a forgiveness of a prosperity. I'm suffering so much, I forgot when the Most High was actually good to me. I forgot when I was actually winning. I forgot when I was actually on top. I forgot when I was actually stable in my life. Read on.
And I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord.
Now we're reading this not to emphasize on the negative thought process that man goes through. But look at how it gets clear at the end of his prayer. Read on.
Remembering mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall.
He said, yeah, the distress and the affliction did have me lose my strength. I did feel weak. My faith got weak. My strength got weak. Read on.
Verse 20. My soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me.
Because the Most High has humbled my circumstance. Because he's brought me at a very low state to the point where I'm about to start panicking. I'm about to start wilding out. We all get to that point. We have to make a decision. Do I stay spiritual and fight out of this depressive state of mind? Or do I just lose all discipline and go crazy and revert back to my old ways? This is where he was at. Read on.
Verse 21. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope.
He says, but what I'm about to say right now, I had to say to convince myself out of this depressive state of mind. I had to refer to this whenever I got this low in my spirit. Read on.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
What did he say? He's saying it could be worse. It could be worse. So instead of looking at how bad my life is right now, I'm praising the Most High because he hasn't let me be consumed yet. He has enough mercy to not have me go further down my quote-unquote rock bottom. Whatever your rock bottom might be, just it can get worse for you. That's what I'm referring to my mind. Read on.
Because his compassions fail not.
Because his compassions, the Most High's mercy and compassions, his love for me has never failed. Read on.
They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness.
He says, his mercies and compassions renews every morning. Every day is another opportunity for him to protect and look out for me. And I'm going to keep remembering that whenever I'm in my lowest state. No matter how low, depressing, and distressed I get in my life, I'm going to recall this information. Let that go. Give me Proverbs 25, verse 25.
Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 25.
Yep, read that.
As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country.
This was the good news that refreshed Jeremiah. That's the good news that should be refreshing us. The Lord renews his mercy every single day. He ain't hold no grudges. He gave me a new opportunity to be safe, to get through my battle, to preserve me every day. That's refreshing. Why is it not refreshing for us? It's one thing to be depressed and angry one day. What about 2, 3, 4 days? 2 weeks? 5 weeks, 5 months, a whole year? Why are we in this perpetual state of distress? This continuous state of vexation. This is killing your faith. This is killing your opportunity to show the Most High I'm winning my battle. To show the Most High I've matured in the spirit. That all the time you put into me, Most High, was not for nothing. It was not a waste of time. Every time we stay in this depressive state of mind, we're showing the Most High it was a bad investment. Read about that in 2 Peter 2 and 20. I'm not going to go there. But the more we go back and start backsliding, start going back into our old ways, our old elements, we show the Most High why did He even give you this knowledge in the first place? The knowledge was supposed to give you comfort. It's supposed to give you hope. It's supposed to give you stability. But that's not good enough for you. It says, this information was supposed to refresh you. The fact that the Most High is always looking out for you is supposed to give you a spirit of comfort. It's supposed to give you a sense of relief. Let that go. Give me Luke 8 and verse 10. Luke 10 through 12.
Luke chapter 8 and verse 10.
Yeah, read that.
God. Luke chapter 8 and verse 10. And he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High.
He says, unto you, unto the chosen, this book was given to you so you can understand the mysteries, the things that nobody else knows, the challenges, the circumstances, the prophecies, the manuscript, the how-to was given just for you. The fact that you are chosen, that you're one of the 12 tribes, so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Central Americans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Mexicans. That was made known to you. You were one of His chosen servants. That was important. That gives you hope. It's supposed to give you hope. It's supposed to refresh you. Yeah, I'm suffering. Yeah, I'm losing. Yeah, my life isn't what I thought it was going to be. But you know what? God loved me. He chose me. Out of all the billions of people in the world, He chose me.
He received me.
He received me. He allowed me to learn about Him. He allowed me to understand what He likes. And in turn, He'll look out for me. Yeah, others might be looking like they're living their life, but the Most High has a plan for them. And it's not a good one. It's not a positive end. But for me, because I'm chosen, and I've been given the knowledge of how to operate as a man or woman chosen in Christ, I have hope. I have an opportunity. I have a chance. But keep reading that.
God. Luke chapter 8 and verse 10. And he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High, but to others in parables.
Because everybody else, this Bible is an allegory. To everybody else, this Bible is a story. To everybody else, this Bible is just a book for good quotes, tattoo quotes. That's what this Bible is for everybody else. Great tattoo quotes. For everybody else, this Bible is a good reference point to create their own quotes. Because that's where most people get their quotes from. They just twist the words around and they sound wise. From the beginning of time.
Decal on the back of your car.
Yeah. This Bible is a storyteller for everybody else. For you, it's your lifeline. It's your comfort. As the scripture says, it's your consolation. It's your hope. We can't lose that hope. We can't lose that comfort. And we can't lose the realness of the scriptures present to us every single day, whether life is up or down. Read on.
It says, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see.
Because they can read the same words you're reading, and it will not make sense at all. It'll go right over their head. Read on.
And hearing, they might not understand.
And we understand this as well. For those that came in the truth, you might have read the same words 100 times before you came in the truth, and they were going right through your head. You would see the words, you would hear the words, and it would not make any sense. It'd be minimal clarity to it. But there's a reason behind it. Because now that you're in these doors, now that you have an opportunity to learn, take advantage of it and use it as a way to navigate through your common day distresses. That's your advantage over everybody else who goes to the same level of stress and loss as you do. They're left hopeless. You aren't. Read on.
Verse 11. Now the parable is this. The seed is the word of the Most High.
And this is very important. This particular story, or this particular parable, was to show you, or it's going to show you a characteristic about 4 different types of seeds. Now, we're not going to read all of them, but the one we're going to focus on is the seed, or the person that gets the word of the Most High, and for some reason, it doesn't stick. Read on.
Verse 12. Those by the wayside are they that hear. Then cometh the devil.
It says the problem is, when we hear, now the devil sets his sights for us. When we have the scriptures open up to us and the understanding revealed to us, now Satan wants to creep in. That's why all of a sudden you come to the truth and life is a little harder. Now the challenge of abstaining gets harder. Now the difficulty of making adjustments in Christ gets a lot more difficult. Contrary to how you felt when you first came in, when you were first zealed up. The battle starts now that you've heard. Because what he wants to do is, I don't want that seed or that word to stick, to actually make some change out of you. So now I'm going to start throwing the monkey wrenches in your life. Now I'm going to start making your life very uncomfortable. I'm going to start taking things away from you. I'm going to start putting people around you to make you envious, to make you hate your circumstance. I'm going to do all these things to reveal your character, to reveal your lack of sincerity. Because that's Satan's job. He wants to reveal all of our lacks, all of us, and our lack of sincerity in Christ. If there is lack of sincerity. So keep reading.
Verse 12 from the top. Those by the wayside are they that hear. Then cometh the devil, and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved.
Now how can the devil, this boogeyman, come in and take the word out of your hearts? Is he sitting here saying that he's going to come in the middle of the night and take every scripture you learn in your life and take it out of your mind? No. What he's saying is, he's going to start exposing your true intentions. Your true intentions by the circumstance that the Most High allows us to go through. So let that go. Let's go to James 1 and verse 12. James 1 and verse 12 through 15.
James chapter 1 and verse 12 reads, Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
One second.
Okay.
Not everybody's there. Alright, read that.
Come. James chapter 1 and verse 12 reads, Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
Again, we're hearing that word temptation again. That word temptation, that trial, that lesson. You're blessed if you can get through that trial Christ-like, with a Christ mindset, faithfully. If you get through it faithfully, there's a blessing. If you get through it faithfully, meaning scripturally, according to the Most High's way of getting through your problems, then there's a crown. Read on. Read the top again.
Come. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
This was your promise. When you get through your adversities and you get through it faithfully, you get the crown of life. Read on.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High.
He says, but whenever you're going through your circumstance, it's not this mystical force making you sin. It's not this mystical force making you backslide. It's not the Most High making you backslide. Oh, God just wanted me to be wicked. That's why I do what I do. No, that's not what it is. You make your mistake because that's what's in you. You have that lust in you. You have that negative in you. And that's what Satan is going to expose. When you read in Job 1, nothing go there. What the Most High allowed Job to do is that you can touch everything around Job, but don't afflict him. Or what happened consequently? His kids got murked, his money got murked, his fame went out the window, his house was destroyed, he got physically sick. He was alive. Well, why was he upset? Because the things that he lusted after, things that he truly cared about, were afflicted. in our lives, when we're very vexed, if we lose something we didn't care about, it wouldn't affect us. We wouldn't lose our stability. We wouldn't lose our consciousness. We wouldn't lose our faith. It's when the things that we actually invest into, the things we actually love and care about, when that gets afflicted, all of a sudden our stability gets like this. Our faith gets like this. Our consistency gets unstable. This is what Satan's job is trying to expose. Will this brother break? Will this sister break when I put them to a circumstance that they can't handle right now, or that they don't want to handle right now? Read on.
Come, let no man say, when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempteth he any man.
He doesn't want you to sin. What he's saying is, he doesn't want you to fail your test. He does not want you to fail your test. Read on.
Come, verse 14.
So when you go through your test and you fail, that wasn't the design of the test. It wasn't set up for you to lose. You were at a disadvantage from the beginning. That wasn't what it was supposed to be. Yes, sir.
I saw this meme that just depicts everything the same right now. It's crazy. I always think about it. There's this dude. He's like, man, Satan, you're going hard today. But the picture is Satan on riding a wave. He's chilling. He's like, nah, it's all you. I'm off today.
That's hilarious. That's funny, bro.
Yo, that is the reality.
That's all you, bro. Yeah.
Nah, that's all you. Nah, that ain't me. I'm chilling. That's all you.
I ain't even doing anything to you right now.
I wasn't even thinking about you right now.
Oh my gosh, bro. Bro, that's real.
And he's on the wave.
He's on a wave. He's surfing.
Yeah.
He's on vacation.
Yeah.
He's in Barbados.
Yeah.
Who's the nation of Barbados at?
And that's how it is. That's what you were saying. It's like we blame Satan. You know,
Yeah.
like we blame all these outside forces. Oh, it's got to be this. It's got to be that.
Yeah.
It's like, what about us?
Because you see that and you know it, because even within our own selves, when life's falling apart, who do we take it out on? Not really.
The person
People around us.
closest nearest to you.
Shoot,
In your house.
if you're bold enough to start blaming the Lord at this stage in life, hey, bro. Hey, bro.
No.
I don't know what to say to you. If you blame the Lord for why you're going through what you're going through,
Well,
you need to keep reading. What we do is, I'm blaming my rib, I'm blaming my husband, it's the kids' fault, it's the job's fault, the weather sucked today, the gas pump, they didn't have no gas, so I had to drive extra 20 minutes to get gas. Life is just difficult, everything's falling apart, life's falling apart. We blame the circumstances and the people within the circumstance on why things are falling apart.
How
Why I
do we-
got irate today.
How do we say it? We diminish our efforts.
Yeah.
We start arguing
Yeah.
over every little thing.
God, arguing, just being unhappy, complaining. I'm complaining about everything in my life. This is how the Most High exposes our lust, our intentions. The temptation, again, could have been minuscule. It could have been small, but we blew it up out of proportion. We blow it out of proportion, we get extreme, and now it becomes a real battle. It becomes a real issue. Read on.
Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away out of his own lust.
So when we just read in that Luke 8, Satan, what he does is expose your lust in the circumstance. Expose your lack of virtue in your circumstance, your day-to-day adversities, your day-to-day stresses. He's exposing that was already in you, that was going to cause you to go away anyway. Our job is to acknowledge this is an issue in me. And this is why I'm going through my particular faith battle. But because I know my issue, and I know spiritually how to get out of my issue, I'm not going to lose my battle this time. That's how you kick Satan to the curb. That's how you win your trials, your day-to-day trials, your weekly trials, your monthly trials, your seasonal issues. That's how you get through them. Understanding, acknowledging it. If you can't acknowledge it, you don't know where the issue is, start counseling and start reading until you can find the issue. But until that happens, you're going to keep succumbing to this loss every single time. And the battle's going to keep getting more and more intensified, and you're going to wonder why nothing is getting better. Keep reading.
When he is drawn away out of his own lust and enticed, then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
And this is why the word can't stick in certain individuals. Because in certain individuals, and a lot of individuals, a lot of us, when life gets hard, our lust comes out. Our pride comes out. Our envy comes out. Our hate comes out. Our lack of patience comes out. Our unfaithfulness comes out. Any little minor inconvenience, all of a sudden, God's not real. All of a sudden, I forgot about the victory I had last week. I forgot about last month's spiritual battle and how I overcame it, and how I had a great testimony to follow it. I was able to inspire X amount of people, and I had the scriptures to go. I forgot all that because my new battle is unique. It's different, and I don't see how I'm gonna get out of it. He's saying when that lust conceives, then that sin comes in. That sin is going back into your old coping mechanisms. The sin is having the quitting thoughts. The sin is having the quitting thoughts, whether it be in your occupation or life. That's what that sin is. Read on.
Come and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And when that thought is completely implanted in you, the spiritual side of you is done. I'm going full throttle into my negative. Why do we have to go full throttle into our negative, which is only going to lead us into more shame? It's only going to lead us into more sadness, more depression. Why go all the way left instead of just fighting the battle when it's in our face? When the battle's here, when the season's here, fighting with everything you have, with every tool you have, to make sure you don't succumb to this particular issue, this particular stress. That's what the Most High is trying to teach us through all these manifold temptations. Teaching you how to navigate for the next time, and the next time, and the time after that. Because they're not going to stop. I don't care how virtuous you get. There's going to be another one that's going to test the extent of how virtuous you truly are.
Because if you don't get out of it, you're going to double down or double up, however you want to say it, and you're just going to keep going further and further and further away. And be like, you know what? It's too late. Why turn back?
And I keep saying I'm teaching this class. I haven't done it yet. They're staying to grow class. Because in that class, we're going over the AMCC, the anterior mid-con... What was that? The anterior mid-cingulate cortex.
Yeah.
It's a fancy, smancy way of saying there's a part of your brain that grows when you lose. There's a part of your brain that grows when you lose and overcome that loss. There's a part of your brain that grows when you put yourself in circumstances that are uncomfortable, which in turn increases memory and increases willpower. They call it the willpower part of your brain. That part, if it's not exercised constantly, will get smaller and smaller and smaller, and your willpower will also decrease with it. So there's a physical part of us that will literally increase in strength or decrease in weakness if we use it or not. So why do you think the Most High keeps putting us through situations that are uncomfortable? Because if you have a weak willpower, then how are you going to be courageous in Christ? When the adversities get harder, how are you going to overcome them if you haven't overcome the small battles on a consistent basis? He's truly building us up for more serious situations. It's not the topic today. If y'all want to find out what those serious situations are, we had it 3 weeks ago. The end times. That's what he's preparing us for. But we're not thinking about that right now. We're not thinking about that right now. We're focused on what issues, what stresses, and what losses that we're going through right now that is forcing us to make a decision. So, let that go. Give me Job 30 verse 26. Job 30 verse 26.
Job, chapter 30, verse 26.
Yep.
Job.
Everybody got it? No, wait one more second. So, the reason why Satan easily tempts us, easily persuades us into seeing the most negative out of circumstance is because we're not fighting that thought process hard enough. And instead of seeing the circumstance as an opportunity, as an opportunity to get closer to the Most High, an opportunity to grow, we see it as we're going through hell. We see it as we're going through the worst thing possible for us, as an uncommon, supernatural thing. Read on. Read that in verse Job 30.
Job, chapter 30, verse 26. When I looked for good, then evil came unto me.
Isn't this what we always say? We said it in Romans 21, 7 and 21. It's the same concept. When I was looking for good in my life, why did things get hard? I tried to do good, Lord. I came to class, I prayed and I studied, and life got harder for me.
Things didn't go according to plan.
They didn't go according to plan. I listened to my financial advisor, and I'm still broke. I worked harder and I'm still losing. I did everything right that I was told, and I'm still in a bad situation.
And sacrifices and that.
I sacrificed, I gave this, I gave that, I was here for this, I was here for that, and I'm still not getting the result that I wanted. In turn, now I'm stressed. Now I'm anxious. Now I'm sad. Now I'm vexed. So when I sought for good, you only gave me evil, Lord. This is what we tell ourselves. This is that lust that's in us. This is that lust that's in us that takes us away from seeing the purity of the Word, the purity of the Most High. Keep reading.
And when I waited for light, there came darkness.
He says, when I was trying to do good, I got evil. When I waited for light to shine on me, to illuminate me, I got more darkness, more dog days, more sad days, more depression. Why is this happening to me? Well, it's happening to you because you keep staying in that perpetual mindset of sadness. Instead of looking at the loss as a good thing or as an opportunity, I see it as the worst circumstance possible. Give me Proverbs 23 and 7. Proverbs 23 and verse 7.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7.
Yep.
For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
As you think in your heart, what you tell yourself every single day, how you cope with your realities, that is where you're going to be at. For those that look at everything in their life as a bad thing, as darkness, as challenging, as adversity, as loss, as unbearable, then that's what it is. If you look at it as an opportunity, as a great way to show the Most High that you're faithful now, as a great way to show the Most High that you actually grew in Christ, then that's what the circumstance will be to you. To the pure, all things are pure. But to the evil and defiled, nothing is pure. Even their conscience is defiled. If your mindset is negative, then yeah, everything around you is negative. And you start saying crazy things like Psalms 116. Give me that real quick. Psalms 116 and verse 3. Psalms 116 and verse 3. The thought process only gets more and more extreme. The more negative thoughts you choose to hold on to. Psalms 116 and verse 3.
Psalm chapter 116, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
The sorrows of death compass me.
You start to, everything around you is just death and sorrow and destruction. There's only loss around me. There's only sadness around me. There's only vexation around me. Read on.
And the pains of hell got hold upon me.
Everything is painful. Everything is suffering. Everything is loss. Everything is depression. This is how decrepit our mindset gets if we don't choose to look at the good around us. And what is going to happen is, because you look at life this way, then the most are going to keep giving you this sad life, this sad reality of life. Read on.
I found trouble and sorrow.
Yes, you're going to find more trouble, more sorrow, because that's how you look at life in the first place. And he's going to give you what you're looking for. If you don't find hope in what you're going through, then there's going to be no hope. If you don't find contentment in what you're going through, then there's going to be nothing that's going to make you content in life. This is what he's saying. We have to retrain our way of operating, retrain our way of thinking and coping and handling stresses in life. Because if not, it's going to physically make you sick, and it's going to mentally make you sick. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let that go. Give me Job 6 and verse 9. We're still in that negative mentality. How fast it can go downhill. And we're using Job as the reference. Because although Job never sinned with his lips, he had some pretty negative thought process that we can relate to.
And we always think we're going through the trials of Job.
And that's why we always use that as a reference. The trials of Job. He makes you really feel like, man, this is the absolute worst thing that can happen. And for those who know the story, it is really one of the worst things that can happen to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Job 6 in verse 9.
Job chapter 6 and verse 9. Even that it will please the Most High to destroy me.
What do we start telling ourselves? When I'm losing and I'm uncomfortable, I rather this Most High take me off the face of the map. Just alleviate me from this loss and this suffering. I don't want to keep fighting anymore. I don't see the purpose in it. Read on.
Even that it will please the Most High to destroy me, and that He
will let loose his hand and cut me off, then should I yet have comfort.
The Most High does not want us, when He gives us temptations, to get to the point where we feel like we have to die to just find comfort. That's not where He wants us to be at. Nor is He trying to prepare you or put you in a situation to where despair is the only choice of action. Every temptation, we know this in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, there's nothing that you're going through that you can't get out of, that you can't handle, and that's uncommon to man. So if that's the case, there's always a way out. There's always a way you can get through it. There's always an opportunity for victory. There's always a clear way of looking at your life, if you choose to look at it. But if not, your mind's going to automatically go to the most negative. We're wired that way. We're wired to be negative. We have to start rewiring ourselves to be positive, to be looking at these circumstances. But Job said, I would find comfort if you just cut me off. Read on.
Then should I yet have comfort. Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow.
And what do we do in our sorrow? We get more bitter. We get more bitter, more resentful. Our work starts slowing down. Our love starts slowing down. We start afflicting those that are around us. We start making the people around us feel uncomfortable. We want everybody to feel the negativity that's oozing off us. That's the hardening process. We become more rebellious. We're slower to listen, and we're slower to change. Keep reading.
Then should I yet have comfort. Yea, I will harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One.
He says, I want the Most High to just take me out. I don't want to keep operating this life. I'm only going to lose and not win. Keep reading.
Verse 11. What is my strength that I shall hope? And what is my end that I shall prolong my life?
He's saying, I don't have enough strength to change my circumstance. So why hope in anything? If I can't change my circumstance, then where's the hope at? This is the negative mindset. If I can't change my circumstance, then why should I hope? It says, what is my life? Or what is my end? Why is my end this? If my end's going to be this, if my life's going to be this, then why prolong it? Why prolong the suffering? Why prolong the distress, the sadness? This is what we're saying to ourselves as we're navigating through our negativity. Why is that? Give me Wisdom of Solomon 9 and verse 14.
Come.
Why are we going through this? Why are we showing the mind of the negative person, the sensual person, the common person? We're doing this to explain, one, your circumstance is not uncommon. Two, how you cope with your circumstance is not uncommon. How you choose to look at life in a negative way is not uncommon. There's been many men and many women that look at it the same exact way you do, but also showing you where it comes from and how it's not good for you and how it's detrimental to you. So now we're in Wisdom of Solomon 9 and verse 14.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 14 reads, For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable.
Why are men suicidal? Why are women suicidal? Why do they feel hopeless? Why do people, why can't no one ever see the good in things? Why are there pessimistic people? Because by nature, the thoughts of men are miserable. They're miserable. And they tend to miserable thought processes. They don't tend to happy thoughts. They don't tend to the good in circumstances. This is why in a conversation, if you've had a week of good compliments, if you had a day of good compliments about your new outfit, what compliment sticks with you? Oh no, what statement sticks with you? If you had a fresh outfit, the first day of school, and you had all these interesting comments, you had thousands of comments of how good you looked and you looked like you were a stunner, which one actually sticks with you? It's the bad one. It's the one bad comment that you were told that say you had off-brand J's. You were not going to sleep comfortable that night. You might not ever wear that outfit ever again. Because that one negative comment is what stuck to you. Because our thoughts tend to negativity. They tend to the negative. They tend to the miserable thoughts. You forgot all your compliments. You try, oh man, well, this person said it looked good, and this person said it looked good, but that one girl said I had fake J's. I can't.
Those are like church shoes.
Oh, church, yeah,
You got
church,
the- you got
yeah,
the
dress shoes
big
on.
specials.
What you doing, bro? You get the Sunday specials on, your Sunday shoes on. What you doing, man? Oh, bro, that's it. They got you at lunch. Everyone's laughing. That's it. You're done. You're never wearing it again. You throw them away. This is from personal experience. I had that. Yeah, I did. No, I did. I did thought they were Chinese Jordans. I didn't know they were Chinese Jordans. My father gave them to me. Said, "Man, I got some J's for you." I was excited. I don't know about no J's, man. I was like, "What?" I was in middle school, man. I got some J's and pop them out, and everyone complimented me up until like third period. I said, "Wait a minute, your J's got a butt cheek." I said, "What?" I look at my J's. I'm like, "Oh no!" And ever since then, bro, they was laughing and clowning, bro. There's a thing every year. There's this post about fake J's that pop up. And my old friends every year always tag me in the post. Man, remember them fake J's in middle school, man? To this day, I can look at my Twitter, bro. And every year, bro, they bring up that same meme. But the point is, I never forgot that. And I never wore them shoes ever again. Everybody else said they were cool. They looked cool to me. They looked fly. I thought I was stunning. And I had that one bad comment, and that was it, bro. It's by nature, our thoughts tend to the negative. We tend to the miserable thoughts. Read on.
God, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain.
And what makes it even more miserable is our game plans, our strategies in life are not they're not certain. They're not guaranteed. They're all a risk. You're rolling dice in everything you do. No matter how well you might plan something out, how well you studied on it, you strategize on it, it's not certain, it's not guaranteed, and that causes more stress in our life. Because you can't control it. Because you can't control it, there's more vexation in spirit, there's more depression, there's more anger, and there's more vexation. Read on.
Verse 15. For the incorruptible body presseth down.
Read it again.
For the corruptible body presseth down the soul.
Uh-huh.
And the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things.
What he's saying is the more you have that preoccupies, let me say it again. The more you allow to preoccupy the space of your mind, the more your body gets affected. The more you choose to dwell on, to muse on many things means to meditate on. The more you choose to meditate on, dwell on, debate over, the more health issues will rise in your body. The more stress will cause other effects. For instance, I wrote some things down. Depression and anxiety. They increase your chance of heart attacks, kidney malfunctions, nervous system malfunctions, immune system malfunctions. And there's others as well. But as they're showing you, there's a physical side effect of having too much depressive thoughts, too many negative thoughts in your mind.
You literally worry yourself sick.
You worry yourself. That's what I'm looking for. You worry yourself sick. You're destroying yourself with all these negative mentalities. So, give me Ecclesiastes 30. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 30 and verse 21. With that being said, Ecclesiastes 30 and verse 21.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness. Stop musing on all these negative things. Because it's only going to make your life harder. It's only going to make your health worse. And it's not going to change your circumstance. You have your hand up, sir? Okay, I thought I saw something. So, don't give your mind over to heaviness. Read on.
And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
And don't afflict yourself in your own negative, depressing thought process. I'm not good enough. I'm not worth enough. The Most High doesn't care about me. Why am I doing this? What's the purpose of living? All these thought processes that come in our mind, we're in uncomfortable circumstances. We cannot meditate on. We have to start looking at the positive in life. Read on.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man.
He says, if you want to live long, if you want to live a good life, we're not talking about living long, because you can live long and live a bad life. If you want to live a good life, you have to find ways to be glad or happy at the life that you're given, at the circumstance you're given. Find the joy in the little things that's in front of you every single day. says the gladness of life is the life. The gladness of the heart is the life of man. Read on.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his day.
The happier you are, the more content you are, the more joyous you are. That's why they say you got to smile to survive. They even say for grandparents, they say grandparents that see their grandchildren more actually live longer because it produces more happiness. They smile more around their grandchildren. It's physical proof. There's scientific proof for those that don't believe in the Bible. It says you have to be happy if you want to live long. You have to be happy if you want to live a good life. But what should make you happy? It's not if you have the things you want. It's I'm happy because the Most High has preserved me from worse. I'm happy because now the Most High is working on a spiritual lesson in me. I'm happy because I'm going through all this to gain glory in the end. This is what makes the righteous happy. Read on.
Love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein.
There's no profit in having that negative mindset all day long. There's no benefit in being negative. There's no benefit in being depressed. There's no benefit in being stressed out. Regardless of your circumstance, you have to find light at the end of the tunnel. You have to find a positive in what you're going through. Keep reading.
Envy and wrath shorten the life.
Envy and wrath shorten your life. Now, the reason why we're going to envy and wrath is, like we said earlier, when you're losing, what do people tend to do? Compare and contrast. I'm going through this. Why aren't they also going through this? I'm going through this. Why aren't they suffering like I'm suffering? Why aren't they losing like I'm losing? We're going through similar paths in life, similar walks in life. Why is their life not like my life? Envy will shorten your life. Wrath will shorten your life. Being incontent will shorten your life. All these things is breaking your body down more and more and more. Keep reading.
And carefulness bringeth age before the time.
Yep, and carefulness being age before the time. Let that go. I want Psalms 37 and verse 7 real quick. Now, with that envy and wrath, we touched on it a little bit. We talked about it. There is the negative health effects that happen to yourself, your own person, but having that same negative connotation, that negative mindset, which is guided or which leads into envy, which leads into wrath, is what starts afflicting the people around you. It starts harming the relationship that you've been building up. And that's the other negative behind the stress, the loss, the discomforting. Give me Psalm 37 verse 7 through 8.
Psalms 37 and verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him.
It says, rest in the Lord and wait for him to get you out of your circumstance. Read on.
Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way.
What does fret mean in 1828? Fret.
Fret, 1828.
Give me 7.
7. Kind of. Fret, 1828. Point number 7.
No, give me the verb fret. Point 3 and then point 4.
Kind of. Fret, 1828. Webster's Dictionary. Point number 3.
My fault. It's a better one. It gets better. It's like 1,000 definitions. Fret noun. Give me 3. Fret noun. That's the best one.
Kind of. Fret, agitation of mind.
So it says, do not fret yourself. Where's that again? And fret yourself because of him who prospered in his way. Don't be agitated in the mind. Read on.
Kind of. Commotion of temper. Irritation.
Don't become irritated when you see somebody else prosper in their way. That's that envying spirit again. Again, our mind tends to the most miserable thought process. You might love the brother next to you. You might sweat with the brother next to you. You might love the sister. You might invest into the same sacrifice that this sister is sacrificing. But for some reason, whenever we're losing, the same person that yesterday you might have loved, you're now comparing and contrasting your life to. You're now irritated. They're winning. You're not. And you're not winning. You're not agitated that this person has a comfortable or a more stable life circumstance than you have a stable life circumstance. Or for your own husband, or for your own wife. They seem to be at ease. Why aren't they as distressed as you're distressed? Why aren't they up and down like you're up and down? Why aren't they angry like you're angry? Why can't they be okay and you're not okay? We can't get in the mindset of starting to compare and contrast our life because someone is living in more peaceful circumstance at the time. Because they haven't had their season yet. We have to be conscious of that. All you're going to do is push your people away from you. The people that the Most High said are a blessing. We'll get into that in a second. He puts people around us to help us through these scenarios in more ways than one. So keep reading in Psalm 37. You're good, Brian.
Psalms 37:7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
And it goes back into comparing and contrasting to the wicked people. We're not looking at their life. Doesn't matter what they do. Doesn't matter how often they win. We know it's finite. It's not going to last forever. And therefore, we can have comfort. The Most High is going to get them too. But for the time, find a way to get through your circumstance in the most Christ-like way. With the most Christ-like mentality. With the most sane, stable mentality. That's our job. That's what we need to worry about. Verse 8.
Cease from anger and forsake wrath.
Stop being angry that you don't have what you want. Stop being hateful and wrathful. Stop pointing the finger. Stop blaming others that you don't have what you want. Because the Most High has you in that scenario for a reason. And He wants you to pass. He's rooting for you to get through it. He doesn't want you to succumb to your temptations. He doesn't want you to backslide. He doesn't want you to go back running to your old habits. He wants you to show all the development, all the investment you've been putting into this life and see how it works for you in your circumstance. We'll finish that.
Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil.
Fret not thyself. Again, do not agitate or irritate yourself to the point where now you're starting to plot evil. Or now you have evil, negative thoughts. It's only going to cause more curse to come upon you. There you go. Give me Job 35 and verse 8. Job 35 and verse 8.
Job chapter 35, verse 8.
Somebody else give me Ecclesiastes 14 and 5. Give me Job 35. Read that.
John, Job chapter 35, verse 8.
Yep.
It is, thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art,
That negative mentality,
as thou art.
that negative concept, that negative conscience, that hateful mentality, that envious mentality, that wrathful mentality, that depressed mentality, that distressed mentality, that vexed mentality, that irritated mentality, that agitated mentality, the adverse mentality. All these things will lead you to hurt the person next to you. It'll hurt as you are. It will hurt the person next to you if you don't choose to look at things in a positive way. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. So not only does this negative mentality hurt you in the long run, it's pushing more and more of your loved ones away from you, who you need specifically for this time. That's what a brother was made in the first place. That's what your wife was made in the first place. That's what your kids were made for in the first place. That's what a sister was made for in the first place. Why are you running them away? Because you're upset and you're unhappy in your circumstance. You cannot choose to rely on that old habit this time around. Show the Lord and show your peers and show your loved ones that you've actually matured in this life, that this word actually works on you.
How do you know you're hurt? Hurt people.
Hurt people. Exactly. And all you're showing the Most High is that, or all you're showing the people around you is the Most High is not working on you. If you keep falling for the same mistakes over and over again, we have to show some development, some growth on our low points, in our low times. Keep reading.
Middle of 8. And thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man.
When you're righteous and your mindset is on point, you're profiting the works of the Son of Man. Because now you're showing people that there can be change. Regardless of their circumstance, this person's the same person. This person is still striving. This person is still fighting. He's still happy. They're still in a positive mindset. That that pushes forward the work. Don't set back the work that the Son of Man came down to do by your negative affect. No, there you go. Give me Ecclesiastes 14.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 5.
Ecclesiastes 14 and verse 5. Let everybody get there real quick.
Page 78.
I didn't want to get 2 hours. That's nice. All right. Yep.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
And this is the point. If you're evil to yourself, how can you be good to somebody else? If I'm always negative when bad things happen, how can I be strong for somebody else? How can I be an example for somebody else? How can I be a positive lesson for somebody else? Read on.
He shall not take pleasure in his goods.
Because when you're depressed and you're stressed out, nothing around you is going to seem good. Everything around you is going to be darkness. Everything around you is going to be the worst thing ever. Forget the roof over your head. Forget the car you drive. Forget the job you have. Forget the stability you've had thus far. It all goes down the drain because I'm losing right now. Read on.
Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself.
Because there's none worse than this person that envies himself. Now, this envy isn't talking about, when it says envy yourself, it means you're discontent with your life. So there's none worse than a person that is discontent with their own life. Yes, sir.
Is it like thinking like, well, yeah, I could do better?
No, this particular envy,
Envy that
it just means
part?
I'm discontent.
Oh, okay.
I'm unhappy. Yes, sir.
You comparing and contrasting how you was 5-10 years ago, where you was in a good state as far as wealth or whatever, compared to where you at right now, where you losing right now, season wise.
I'm gonna read the definition. To envy means to grudge. To envy means to feel uneasy and discontent. Now, most times you envy somebody else, and their success makes you even more discontent in your circumstance. But for a person that, again, read up from verse 5, they're just not happy with themselves. They're evil to themselves. So nothing around them is good. They have no pleasure in anything that's around them. They can't even see the good in their circumstance. If they can't see the good in their own circumstance, then they're definitely not going to see the good in anybody else. Read that in verse 6 again.
Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness.
Now, hold on. I just want to answer this question online. It says, so when you're fighting your negative thoughts every day, is that not enough to the Most High, basically taking it step by step? Well, the question would be, how are you fighting? The question is, if I'm fighting it, am I fighting this alone? Because there's some battles that you can't win alone. There's some battles you need to start divulging your thought process, divulging what's eating at you all day. If you're fighting it, you're getting counsel, you're coming to class, you're studying. David said eventually that he was given the heart. His heart was strengthened as he was waiting on the Lord. So the process you're taking is very important, but how you're taking it, how you're looking at your circumstance as you're fighting, is also very important. I can't go to my day-to-day life half-heartedly fighting. Not saying that's what you're doing, but if I'm not taking the proper steps, not having the proper meditations, the proper counsels, the proper classes, then I'm only running in circles. And I'm going to go deeper and deeper into my negative. So I have to keep praying. I have to keep fasting. I have to keep counseling. I have to keep going to class if I want true results at the end of the day. You give that in verse 6 again. I didn't hear you. My fault.
Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness.
Read on.
And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Because this type of person, because they're so angry and discontent in their life, the good they try to do, it's still unwilling. It's still half-hearted. It's still not sincere. And because it's not sincere, the benefit that you would have gotten if you were sincere, it won't be given to you at the capacity you're looking for. Because again, if you're discontent and you're evil to yourself and you have this negative thought process, then nothing around you is going to be good enough for you. Everything is going to be lackluster. Everything's going to be doom and gloom. You had a question?
Yeah, the word that you like envy to yourself, could you better explain that? Because I'm used to hearing envy to someone else or something else.
Yes. Again, this whole chapter is referring to the person that beats themselves up. All right? The first 4 verses, they're referring to the person that's conscience is beat up because their sins are so great. The person who's pricked by the multitude of sins. And they can't do good for the Lord because they're so focused on how negative they were in their past life. Then it transfers, the thought process transfers to verse 5, which is, if you're evil to yourself, to whom can you do good to? Then it goes to verse 6. Again, all this is in succession. It says, there is none worse than he that is envieth himself. The reason I say envy is discontent. But look at the definition of envy. It means to hold a grudge. It also means to just have pain or uneasiness. Now that could be towards somebody else. But that's why I clarified. You're envying to yourself. You're uneasy with your own life. You're discontent with your own life, your own circumstance. And that's why in verse 5 he said, you won't take pleasure in your own goods. Because you won't see the value in what you got. You won't see the good in what you got or what you've been given. So that's why that envying for yourself is referring to your own inner hate. Does that make sense? Is that clear? Okay. Let's give me verse 7 again.
Verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Yep.
And at the last, he would declare his wickedness.
Because the wickedness is the fact that you weren't really sincere about this in the beginning. You were half-heartedly serving in the beginning. And all it took was a circumstance. All it took was a loss. All it took was adversity or temptation for you to get out of that fake spirit that you were presenting. Not saying you were trying to be that way, but again, if you don't appreciate what you got in your face, it's half-hearted in the first place. It's not single of mind. So the Most High is saying is, whatever I'm doing, I have to do with my full heart. I have to do with my full sincerity, or it will be considered fake, and it will be revealed at the end that this is the type of person you were. What you got, Nagai?
Wickedness also means guilt of wrong.
Okay. Okay. At last, he will declare his wickedness, his guilt of wrong. Okay. You're right. Keep reading.
Verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye.
Yep.
He turneth away his face, and despiseth men.
This person has a problem with man. This person has a problem with his circumstance, has a problem with his environment, has a problem with everybody. Nothing around him is good. This is fueled by stress. This is fueled by adversity. This is fueled by loss. This is fueled by depression. All these mental ailments are fueling the idea that are fueling the notion or the action of pushing people away from you. You push people away from you if you're not happy with yourself. This is the killer of stress. Not only does it destroy your faith, it also destroys relationships around you. It destroys your prospect of future relationships or maintaining old ones. Keep reading.
Verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion.
A covetous man is not satisfied with what the Most High has given him. Read.
And the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul.
And the thought process that you don't have enough, the Most High hasn't given you enough, dries your spirit up. What you got?
That unsatisfied here also refers to being ungrateful, correct?
Yeah. I'm ungrateful. The covetous person is ungrateful. The covetous person wants more. The covetous person is not happy with his own portion. The covetous person feels like their circumstance should be somebody else's circumstance, not their own. That's the covetous person.
So if we're unhappy, we're really ungrateful.
We're ungrateful, we're discontent, and ultimately we're evil to ourselves. You're evil to yourself because now the Most High's got his eye on you for a negative. Now he's going to start stinging you. You're evil to yourself because now you're going to start pushing the good people around you that are trying to help you. You're evil to yourself because now that negative thought process is actually eating away at your body. All these things that's happening is only doing you a disservice. So all that's being said, why do I still hold on to stress? Why still hold on to depression? Why still hold on to the negative, looking at the negative in things, the pessimistic mindset, when it does nothing positive for my life? Nothing. It doesn't change your circumstance. It don't change your environment. It does change your friendships. It does change your relationships, and it does change your health. All for the negative. There's no positive there. But again, that is an old coping mechanism. That is an old way to navigate stresses. That's what we were taught as a acceptable way of navigating. Take some time off for yourself, isolate yourself, give into your vices, and try again later. But a lot of times, it doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
A lot of times, it's hard to shake off that depression. Or that spirit just leaves for a little bit and brings more friends and gets stronger the next time. We know about that in Luke as well. So, keep reading. Let's finish it up and give me verse 11.
Verse 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself.
Do good unto thyself. However way you can, how you've been taught, do good unto yourself. How do we do good unto ourselves? Well, read on.
And give the Lord his due offering.
You do good unto yourself by doing good unto the Lord. What is the offering the Most High requires of, class? Is it bullocks? Is it animals? What is it? Yes, but it's faithfulness. Reading Hosea 6, I think it's Hosea 6 and 10. He says, I don't want bullocks. I want steadfastness. Steadfastness is synonymous for faithfulness. I want your faith. Now give me that in Ecclesiastes 11 and 27. The test is to procure if you have faith or not. The stress is to see if you have faith at the end of the stress. To see if you have faith at the end of your struggles, at the end of your depression. Because he wants to see you. Are you going to let the circumstance allow you to succumb? Or are you going to let the loss cause you to lose your faith in Christ? Read that in Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 27 real quick.
Ecclesiasticus 11 and 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure.
It doesn't take much, and you don't have to suffer for long. But when you do suffer, do you forget your pleasure? Do you forget the Most High? Do you forget the good that the Most High has put in your life? Is that our first thought process that we fall back to? This is what he wants to see. Read on.
And in his end, his deeds shall be discovered.
Because at the end of that test, at the end of that temptation, it'll discover your sincerity or your lack thereof.
Your integrity.
Your integrity and your faithfulness. If you have faith or you didn't have faith. If you had love or you didn't have love. That's what it's going to expose every single time. Let all that go. Give me Luke 22 and verse 31. Okay, almost there. Luke 22 and verse 31.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 31.
Yep.
Okay. And the Most High said, Simon. No, come.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
Just like Satan wanted to tempt and sift, which means to separate from their love of Christ. Just like he wanted to separate the disciples' love from Christ back then, he wants to separate your love from Christ now. It is no different. As bad as he wanted Simon, he wants you too. Because anybody gets this word is now a target. Their lust is a target. Their temptations are now a target. Read on.
All right. It says verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
But again, the Most High is rooting for you. Christ is rooting for you. He's rooting that you don't fail your test. You don't fail the challenge. And that when you overcome your challenge, you can be an example of how to overcome all challenges to those that you come across. You can be the hope that somebody else needs to overcome their next battle. That's what he's saying. So it behooves us, again, there's more benefits to overcoming your tests, overcoming the stress, overcoming the depression and the anxiety than succumbing to it. The benefit is you get closer to the Most High. The benefit is you stay healthier longer. The benefit is you can actually help somebody else through their low point in life. Don't forsake that by choosing to run back to your old vices as a coping way, as a coping mechanism. So all you're doing is playing to Satan's hands. Let that go. Give me Jude 1, or Jude is one chapter. Jude 16 and 19.
You said Judah.
Jude,
In the Bible.
right before Revelations.
I heard you said 16.
It's only one
Jude
chap- it's only one
16.
book. It's only
Yeah.
one chapter.
Okay. Okay. That's why I didn't hear you say the chapter.
Yeah, there's no chapter in this.
Jude chapter 1 and verse 16 reads, These,
you read 19 first.
verse 19, these be they who separate themselves.
Remember, Christ said, Simon, Simon, Satan desires to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Satan desires to separate you from the rest of the spiritual men. How does he separate? How is he deemed? How can someone be deemed as separate from the rest of the spiritual men? Read that in verse 19.
These be they who separate themselves sensual.
These be they who succumbed to their sensual and their lusty urges when they were put in stressful, anxious environments, when they were losing, when they weren't getting what they want, or what they wanted. Read on.
Having not the Spirit.
These characteristics are people that didn't have the Spirit, that were separated. Read on. Read verse 16.
Verse 16. These are murmurers.
These are murmurers. Read on.
Complainers.
Complain. I'm gonna define these words. We know what they are. If you're a murmurer and you're a complainer, you're sensual and you're separate. Satan is using that ailment and that lust against you. Read on.
Walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
It goes back into that envying and that covetous mindset again. When I'm losing, the person that's negative, that's separate, is always looking at the person who's winning. How are they winning? Why are they winning? Maybe I start doing their works and live after their lifestyle, because my lifestyle is not working for me. My way of operating is not doing it for me. These are separate. These are the ones that Satan is trying to grab. He's trying to grab onto that side of you that fits these categories. These are all in us. But what are you doing to prevent that side of you from coming out? That side of you from being present? That side of you from failing the test of time? Let that go. Give me Romans 8 and verse 35. Romans 8 and verse 35. Yeah, a couple left. Yes, sir. I got an answer. What's that?
What does that exactly mean? Having a man's persons in admiration because of
It's not man pleasing. Having a person. Read that part again. To have someone in admiration. We talked about it earlier. But what it is it's the person that, if they could, they'd be in their shoes. They choose their lifestyle, because their lifestyle seems to be working for them. We admire how their lifestyle is presented. We lust after their lifestyle. We lust after their materialistic things, the status they have, the life they have. This is what modern day idols are. This is what modern day celebrities are. We lust after their life. That's why celebrity TV show is so big. That's why sports is so big, because we want to be those people. These are people who are sensual and separate from the Spirit. Does that make sense? Okay. Romans 8 and 35.
You don't have that in Jude after all?
No. Romans 8 and 35.
Romans chapter 8, verse 35.
Yep.
Who shall separate us from the love of Yahushua?
And this is why Paul asked this question. He says, because there should be nobody or nothing that should separate us from the love of Christ. If we have our mind in a spiritual sense, Satan can't use anything against us to pull us away from the spiritual men, to pull us away from his disciples. Read on.
Shall tribulation,
hardship, read.
or distress,
we've been going over that the whole time. Vexation of mind, irritation, read.
or persecution,
Or persecuted. Are you being persecuted for what you believe in? If that's what's happening, that even shouldn't be enough to allow you to be sensual, to allow you to be complaining.
Are you accused of doing something wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Accused of doing something wrong, or accused of again. There's gonna be times when, if you're living after Christ, you're gonna be hated. Is that gonna pull you away from Christ, or pull you away from the love of Christ? pull you away from the sincerity of Christ. Even if you don't fit these categories right now, something as small as stress or distress is something that we fail at all the time. Again, Christ is preparing you for the greater battle. Preparing those that might have to be persecuted, that might have to go through famine, that might have to go through peril, nakedness, go through the sword. Read on.
Or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword.
Yep, even verse 7. I mean 37, my fault.
Verse 37. It says, Nay.
But Paul said, no, none of these things. Nothing can pull us away from the love of the Most High and our sincerity. No distress, no adversity, no depression, no anxiety, no adversity, no loss is going to pull us away from our sincerity in serving Christ. Read on.
In all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Because our sincerity in Christ will pull us through every circumstance. Our belief in Christ will pull us through every circumstance. Our love in Christ is going to get us through all these circumstances, which is why we are considered as conquerors. Now that we've conquered, now that we've overcame, now we can help. Now we can give back. 2 Corinthians 1:11. Almost done. 2 more. And then somebody else give me Ecclesiastes 24 and 24.
2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 11. Ye also help me together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by the means of many persons, thanks be given by many on our behalf.
Okay, my fault. I was on the wrong Corinthians. Read that again from the top. Give me 1 second. I was looking at the wrong one. All right, read it from again.
2 Corinthians chapter 1, 11.
Yep.
Come. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 11. Ye also helping together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by the means of many persons, thanks may be given by many on our behalf.
This is why navigating successfully through your stresses and your distressors, your adversity and your loss and your depression is so important. What Paul's saying is there's a great advantage to having multiple people that can help pray for you and help be there for you at your lowest point. Read it from the top again. It says, ye also helping together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by means of many persons. The Most High, it's literally a gift from the Lord to have many persons who actually care about your circumstance. To have many people actually praying for you and looking out for your best interests, no matter what you go through. We can't allow ourselves to get so negative in our mind that we start pushing that blessing away from us, pushing that gift away from us, just because we're in the low point in our life. Because we have to be able to navigate this successfully so we can actually utilize this gift to its fullest extent. Now give me Ecclesiastes 24 and 24.
Ecclesiastes 24 and 24.
Yep.
Page 85. Faint not to be strong in the Lord.
It says, faint not to be strong in the Lord. In the Lord. Read.
That he may confirm you. Cleave unto him.
So the purpose of us going through these tests and being strong and overcoming these tests is so we can confirm you as one of the chosen. You as one that are going to make it to the end. You have to go through them and succeed in the battle to even show the Most High that you deserve to be there at the end. That's what they're for. The many battles, the many perilous tribulations you go through is to test, can you survive and can you last at the end? Can your faith last at the end? If you're failing faith battles and before anything gets perilous, then how are you going to be in the end? When life is really difficult. When the tribulation is really hard. When it's really tempting. When Satan is tempting on your hunger lust and your thirst lust. Those are real issues. Your shelter lust. Those are real issues. Read on.
In the middle of 24. For the Lord Almighty is the Most High alone.
Guys, read it from the top.
God, faint not to be strong in the Lord, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him. For the Lord Almighty is the Most High alone, and beside him There is no other Savior.
And this is why it's important. You have to get over your stresses and your adversities, because the Lord's the one that put you in the circumstance, and He's testing your faith, and He's testing your love for Him. Don't let stress be the killer of your faith, the killer of your chance at the end. Is there any more questions? All right. I'm going to be your teacher for the next couple of weeks. I will be here probably to the end of the month. So if there's any questions you guys got for me, please shoot me. For those that are in class, let me know. Put a class together for you guys. But if not, we'll keep with our regular scheduled program, and we'll see you all Wednesday. Shalom.
Shalom.
Next class.